Hey guys, welcome back to the I Don't Even Know podcast. I'm Em. Hope you're doing well. Today I'm here for the Sex Lives with College Girls Season 3, Episode 10, the season finale. Or as of right now, it's the season finale. It could be the series finale. We're not sure yet, which is concerning because I want another season. I'm having a great time. This season was really good. I think there's a chance we will get one, but I'm not really sure, especially because this episode, like the ending, it felt like a finale, like a series finale. Like, yes, there's more we could do, obviously, like there's so much more to come if they like decided to renew it, but it didn't end on a cliffhanger. It ended kind of like how a series finale would, in a way. And I'm a bit concerned about that because I really want another season. There's so many things that like happened in this episode that I want to touch on next season, and I want to explore more things, and I think they can do it. And I just hope HBO like gets their shit together and like renews it because I don't know. Like, it was such a good finale, and I want more. There's so many things that happened that I've been waiting for, and I just want to keep going. Like, for example, Bella, like, coming out as bi. I've been waiting for that. Like, I've been saying it all season. She is not straight. Like, Taylor need to get together. I'm still holding out hope now that it finally happened, but I've been saying she's not straight. Like, she is not. I've been thinking that since day one. Like, she's not straight. But, like, I thought they were just going to, like, make her straight and just, like, kind of, like, not touch on that and just keep it the way it is. They had Renee, and now they have, or Leighton, and now they have Taylor as, like, queer character. So, like, let's just keep it that way. That's what I thought was going to happen. And, like, I've been saying it specifically this season, like, she is not straight. Like, it's obvious. Like, you know, it's, like, so obvious to me. And to basically everyone else on Twitter, because I heard a lot of people on Twitter talking about it. I just, like, some shows like to have one queer character, or one queer main character, and let the rest be straight. Or we at least... in our heads, they're not. Like, we can tell they're not, but they just say it and they don't, or they just don't touch on it because they want to keep it that way. I think in all shows, there should not just be one queer character. There should be multiple. There's never too much representation, ever. And the show does a really good job because there are queer side characters, but, like, I wanted another main queer character. I've always wanted one. Like, out of all of them, I always thought Bella. Like, I thought some other, like, maybe Whitney was, like, not straight. I thought that at one point. I think they all have a little bit, but specifically Bella, I was always like, there's something. And I'm so happy that she realized that. She kissed that girl. Don't even know her name, to be honest. I don't remember, but, like, she kissed her and, like, finally opened up about when she dates someone, she doesn't, like, just want to have sex or, like, something like that, or care about, like, the look. She wants to develop feelings for the person, or, like, connect with the person and then develop feelings for them. That, when she said that, I had a feeling that she was going to kiss her. Like, part of me was like, I don't know, like, maybe not. But then I was like, when she said that and the way she was looking at the girl, I was like, okay, like, let's figure this out. And that made me so happy that she said that, because first of all, it shows how much she's grown, because, you know, like I said, she would just fuck around, which, I mean, good for her. And I think after Arvind, she realized that she needs that kind of relation, not the relationship she had with Arvind, but it kind of showed her what a relationship can be like, and, like, not just hooking up with everyone, and, like, what she wants in a person, and not just a guy, and a girl as well. And I think her breaking up with Arvind was perfect, because it made her come out of her, not shell, but, like, kind of in a way. It made her explore and figure things out. Like, she went back to comedy, which I've been wanting her to do, and like that was her passion, and she's so good at it. And then like just figuring out she's bi. Like her breaking up with Arvind was perfect for her, and her development this season was incredible, and that's why I want another season so badly, because I wanted them to explore it more and have her hook up with some girls and like figure out like what it's like, and just date a girl. I feel like she's probably gonna date that girl she kissed, whatever the hell her name is, which I'm down for now. I would like Taylor and Bella to get together, and I think her coming out as bi and realizing that, they're going to make it happen, maybe. Or if they weren't planning on it, they might now because of the fans. I'm hoping it's like what they do, or like not what they do, what some shows have done in the past, where they don't plan on stuff like this happening, but then all these fans ship the characters, and so they make them a thing. Like, for example, I don't want to even talk about it, but I'll bring it up. JJ and Kiara from Outer Banks. You know, it was a whole fan thing. It was a crack ship. That's what we started. It was friends. The fans were obsessed, including me, since day one, and then they made them a ship because of us. I'm really hoping, obviously, that they don't take inspiration from that on this show, because I am still scarred, and it's been 2 months. I am still traumatized. I cry about it, like, once a week. So, I hope they don't take, like, that. But I want them to do, you know, like, listen to the fans. I think if they listen to the fans and they make this happen, it could be perfect. I just think Bella and Taylor have had such great development. They've grown, like, from not enemies, but like not really liking each other, to be Bella becoming like just, or like becoming her faff and helping her, to becoming friends, and then potentially something more. Like when they were talking at the end of the episode, and like Bella came out to her, or it wasn't even the end, but Bella came out to her, and Taylor was talking about how she bought the drink. She didn't drink any, which I'm like so happy about. And it was like, the reason I didn't drink the vodka was because of you. Like, I bought it, but then I went home, opened up to Ash, went to a meeting, talked about my feelings, and talked about all this and how I was feeling. And I did that because of you. And, like, the way they were looking at each other, like, it has to happen. Like, Bella's helped Taylor so much. I feel like they have to fall for each other. I'm so desperate, guys. I'm so fucking desperate. Like, so desperate for them to get together. Or just kiss. I was hoping we would get a fucking kiss this episode. Like, I kind of assumed we wouldn't. But I was hopeful. But to be fair, honestly, I'm fine with it because Bella came out, and I literally did not think that was going to happen. The development with Taylor and Bella I was expecting for this episode, and like where it would end this season, was Taylor realizing she has feelings for Bella. Does she? Yes, I think she does. Do we know? No. So we're kind of still figuring that out, but I think there is now, like, that Bella's come out, there's an opportunity. Let's do it. Like, come on. So much potential. Like, the way Taylor, like, was the one to push Bella to come out to her mom, because she knows she wished she had a mom that cared for her so much, and she saw how much Bella's mom cared for her from the dinner, and also her showing up at her show at Sips. And it was like, I wish I had a mom that loved me as much as your mom does. Like, I wish I had that. You should tell her, like, you have that opportunity. It's like, it just made me so happy. And like, Taylor, after talking to Bella about that and saying that to her, that motivated her to call her mom and actually talk to her. Like, are you kidding? And Bella coming out to her mom, like, literally had me in tears. Like, I cried. I did. And I don't know, it could be the fact I'm really tired and sleep deprived. Because I am, and I'm really emotional when I'm sleep deprived for some damn reason. I cannot control my emotions, and I'll cry literally over anything. But I was bawling my eyes out. Like, the way she, like, looked at her mom after she took the girl's hand and was like, yeah. And, like, her mom, like, held her hand and kissed it. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, oh my gosh. I just wish every parent was like that when, like, their kid comes out. Because that's what it should be like. Like, I had a feeling that her mom was going to be understanding and nice about it because we've seen what her mom's like. She's not a bitch. And even though I don't really remember if we've heard her opinions on, like, LGBTQ+, but I think because she knew Taylor was queer at the dinner and she didn't say anything about that. I think she's pretty chill about it. Now, the dad I'm concerned about. I don't know. I feel like he'll be supportive. I'm hoping, or at least the mom will kind of push him to be. But I feel like sometime, if we get another season, like sometime next season, hopefully they'll, like, that will be a storyline and Bella will be, like, having to deal with her dad and, like, maybe her dad having different views. Obviously, I don't want that and I want her dad to be supportive, but I think that would be an interesting storyline to see, like, a different side of Bella because we've seen so many different sides of her this season, and I think seeing that would be perfect. I'm just so proud of her. Like, oh my gosh, like, Arvin, screw him. Her breaking up with him was the best thing she could have ever done. Like, going back to comedy, finding her love for it again, coming out as bi, realizing a different part of herself, coming out to her mom. Like, when she was standing up on stage, I was so excited, like, for her to come out to everyone. But then when her mom showed up, I was like, first of all, that's so cute, like, that her mom's so supportive and wants to, like, be there for her. Then I was like, oh, shit, she's not gonna do it. And, like, I get it. Like, coming out to your parents is probably the hardest thing. You know, like, I've come out to my mom. I did a couple years ago. Or, how many years? Like, 2.5? I don't know. Like, time goes by so fast, it's, like, insane. But I think it was... 2.5 years, I think. But I haven't come out to my dad yet. Not that I don't think he'll be supportive. I don't want to have that conversation with him. But, like, my brother and my sister know. And so, like, I think coming out to your parents is, like, so difficult. Like, when I came out to my brother and sister, it was accidental. Completely accidental. I did not mean for it to happen. Like, they were literally the first people I told. And it was not on purpose. It just kind of slipped. But when I said it, I didn't try to, you know, like, you're kind of like, oh, wait, never mind. I didn't try to backtrack because it was, like, for some reason with them, it was chill and I didn't feel pressure. With my mom, I was absolutely petrified. And again, I did not really mean to come out. It just kind of happened. And I accidentally slipped up when I was talking about something. So, you know, she was supportive, obviously, and, like, I knew she would be. But, like, coming out to your parents is, like, one of the most stressful things ever. Like, I think it's harder to come out to them than other people because you're worried that, like, it will change the way they feel about you. Yes, parents are always supposed to love their child. Like, that's how it goes. Like, you're supposed to love them no matter what. But, like, this, coming out to your parents, it can tear a family apart. Like, it can. And it breaks my heart knowing that happened with Taylor. But now, like, with her talking with Bella and seeing Bella do it, she's like, this is my opportunity to mend, like, my relationship with my mom. Like, I missed having her, and I'm hoping that they'll continue to grow and her mom will be supportive. It's just, I hope they address next season Bella's coming out to her dad, because I think that's a very important thing, and it would be a really good storyline because he doesn't seem like a bad guy. He just seems kind of, like, strict and like, about morals, kind of. I don't know. I just feel like he might not be as understanding. But, like, I hope, oh gosh, I just want Bella to thrive, man. Arvin was a piece of shit this season. I want her to thrive. I want her to have a good ass time, especially now that she's realized this about herself. I loved how supportive all the girls were as well. Like, I mean, obviously they would be. I mean, we know how they were with Leighton. And, like, with Bella saying she was upset that, like, Leighton had, like, this, when Leighton came out, they cried, and there was this whole thing for them. They were like, oh, yay, like, congrats, I'm so happy for you, and then talked about breakfast. I get, like, Bella wants, like, an emotion, like, a bigger reaction when she tells people, like, important things like that. I get it, but I also get where they're coming from. Like, with Leighton, it was such a big thing, and, like, Leighton had to deal with so much before then, like lying to herself, like kind of not even lying to herself, like hiding it, and it was just such a big thing. And like Bella's wasn't as much. She like came out and was like, oh yeah, okay. Like I get both sides. Like yes, you want some sort of reaction, but I think a chill one, like from your friends, and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you, is probably better. I don't know. I get like that's who she is for me. When I told my like best friend about it, like yeah, she gave a great reaction. Hers was funny. She like wanted to buy me a cake or something. But it's like when you tell people, like nowadays, when it's like you just kind of tell them, it's kind of like, oh, I'm so happy for you, like that's great, and like they're actually supportive. But I feel like when you have like more of a backstory, not a backstory, but you like had to deal with a lot more like leading up to it and gone through a lot with it, it's like a bit more, you know? Like I get both sides. I feel like if I would kind of be with them, I don't think I would move on to breakfast that quickly, but like I think I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you, and give her a hug, not like have the whole crying thing like Leighton. If I was like there when Leighton came out, I would cry, because I literally did when I was watching that scene. But I mean, I think you guys get what I mean. It's not like they weren't supportive, but it wasn't as, it's like a huge deal, but it wasn't like Leighton's, you know? I hope that made sense. But like I get both sides. It's just what Bella's like. She likes a reaction. I don't know. I don't know. Was like Bella expecting them to cry like Casey was crying when Cooper and her broke up? Like, I don't fucking know. And speaking of that, like, I'm pissed off. Like, here's the thing. I was saying, I really like Cooper and Casey last episode. Like, they had sex. Like, I expected, like, a pregnancy scare or some shit like that. I did not expect this. Like, are you kidding? Like, I thought Cooper was such a good guy, and I think he is. But, like, I wasn't... Fuck. I had a feeling, like, either it was going to be a pregnancy thing, or Casey was kind of going to start moving really fast. Because, like, in her mind, like, once you have sex, it's, like... Or she was waiting till marriage to have sex, and she didn't, obviously, but like when you're at that point, I think she obviously takes it really seriously. I think she moved a little fast, which like I get, but this episode, even at the beginning, with how in love she seemed, like she was in love with him, and I kind of thought maybe she was moving a bit too fast, especially that they've been only dating for a couple weeks or like month or whatever. And, like, when they were talking in the ball pit at the party, and she was just looking at him, and he was kind of like, oh, I was like, okay. Like, I think he likes her a lot, but I think she's more into him because she's into, like, that fairy tale romance thing. We know that from how she wanted to have sex last episode. Like, we know that. And I think he's more just, like, chill, like, whatever. And so when you kind of combine that, it can work. But it's just like she's like falling for him hard. And I think he is falling for her, but not as hard. Like, she saw like them having sex as like them getting really serious, even though they just started dating. Because like the way she was already talking about like her mom coming to visit and wanting to meet him, I was like, okay, like maybe I was like, I don't know if it's too soon or like if it's the right time. I think it's too soon, but like whatever, like you do you, we'll figure it out. That's what I was thinking. And when he said he had like that squash thing, to be fair, I thought he was making that shit up. I've never heard of squash in my life. I still really don't know what it is. I was picturing it like pickleball. I'm most likely wrong. I've never heard of someone playing squash. Like, when he said squash, I was picturing the food. I was like, huh? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then when he started, like, saying, like, the court thing, I was like, okay, it's like pickleball. Like, I'm assuming. Who the hell knows? But when he said that, I thought he was lying. But maybe he was. But when, like, they met up after that, and she was like, oh, yeah, I DM'd your friend and got him to change or cancel or switch times because the courts are always open and my mom's here for 48 hours. That's when I was like, okay, girl, you're being a little overbearing. Like, let's calm down a bit, because, like, yes, you want him to meet your mom, but it is soon. Like, even he said, it's, like, a little too soon. I'm not ready. Like, they haven't been dating for that long. Like, I think you can introduce someone to your family, like, whenever you want, honestly. But I think, as someone who has never dated or, like, has never kissed a person in their life, I think, like, a couple months. Like, for me, if I ever date anyone, I won't, like, introduce them to my family for a couple months, because I want to make sure, like, we're going somewhere, you know? Like, I don't want to do it after just a couple weeks. Like, you'll meet my best friend after, like, like, pretty soon after we start dating, to make sure she approves, and if she does, then we're moving forward. If she doesn't, you're out the door. But, because I need her approval. We made this deal a couple years ago. Like, we need to approve of each other's significant other. But, like, I think a couple months, because you want to know if you're moving far, you know? You don't want to make a big deal and introduce them to your family if it's just, like, a little thing, you know? You want to make sure you're going to get somewhere. And I think them having sex made her think that they were moving farther, which I thought they were too. I thought they were going to get somewhere. But, like, I didn't think they were ready to meet the family. And then, like, especially when she started talking about how she got a ticket for Calvin to go on the family cruise with her, and they got them to change the name to you, so now you can go. I'm like, okay, that's where we're starting to move a little bit too far. Like, I love Casey. Like, now she's grown on me so much. Such great character development. I'm really liking her. But that's when I was like, yee. Like, girl, let's slow your roll. Like, come on. I know she's all about, like, that romance, but it takes time. Like, in a couple months, maybe he would be ready. But I think it's because it hasn't been that long. It's not time. And so I get why he broke up with her, kind of, because she is moving way too fast. But then I'm also like, maybe a conversation would have been better. But then I don't know, man. I think a conversation would have been a bit better. But maybe this was the right decision. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like Casey needs to really work on herself and learn more about herself before she gets into a relationship, because she kind of jumped into a relationship right after she found out Calvin was cheating on her and broke up with him. And, like, they were together for so long, since 7th grade. They're sophomores in college now, and she jumped into a relationship right after that. I think she needs some time single and to focus on herself and figure some stuff out and work on her self-esteem, because I feel like that's maybe why she's the way she is, because she's also worried the person's gonna leave her if she doesn't, like, do this. Especially with what she was saying to them, she was worried that if she didn't have sex with him, he would leave her, which I didn't think Cooper was that type of person. But, like, I get it. That's a big worry, especially when you've been brought down by your mom for so many years in your family. You feel that way. And she did have sex with him, and he still left her. And her, like, saying, I don't think I was ready, it just shows that she needs, like, time to herself. And her performing that, like, song at the end, and, like, or, like, going up to I think her name was Kira, and be like, I need this role. Like, I need to take it back. I know. Like, I walked out, but, like, I'm ready. After talking to the girls and them saying, like, screw him, like, you're a badass. You're, like, one of the best, like, most confident people ever. Like, you've got this. And that, her taking that, like, I'm ready to face him. I'm ready to sing the song. And she did. Like, oh my gosh, I had chills. First of all, because it's never enough, and that I'm obsessed with that song. Like, Greatest Showman. Oh my gosh, I need to rewatch it. Literally incredible, show-stopping. My life changed when I watched that for the first time. Like, it was so good. And, like, her voice, incredible. I mean, we knew she could sing because of the tryout. But she sang it so well. And that scene just made me so emotional, because we were seeing how she was, like, becoming confident, and like her mom was crying and was proud of her. Bella came out. Taylor called her mom. Kimberly got out of jail, which we will touch on in a bit. Whitney is back on the team. Like, it was just such a beautiful moment, like her singing the song and then turning the lights off on Cooper to letting her have her moment, because she wanted to be the lead, to prove to herself and to the teacher, and she did. She proved to everyone that she is good enough, and I think that's such a good way to end this season with her, to show like how much she's grown. Because I remember episode 3 when she popped up, I hated her ass. She was such a bitch. And each episode, she's grown more likable. And now I love her. And I want another season so we can see more of her growth. And see her single. You know? And I said, like, before, I want her to, like, kind of hook up with people. Or I said that before she and Cooper started dating. That, like, I think that would be good for her. Now I take that back completely. I don't think that would help her at all. I think that would fuck with her. So I just want her to, like, focus on herself. Stay away from men. She needs a complete break from men. Focus on herself, hang out with the girls, go to parties, have some fun, fix her relationship with her mom, and just call it that. That's what I want to see with her next season. She needs to stay away from men. And you know who else needs to stay away from men? Kimberly. Because I have a feeling that she is going to hook up with that guy from the protest next season. Which, like, I mean, like, yes, she likes being with a guy, she likes hooking up with people, but I think she needs to take a break, especially after Eli and all that whole situation, and then more specifically Brian, or whatever the hell his name was. I think his name was Brian, because they're obviously broken up now, and I think she needs a break to realize, like, what she wants in a guy and what's, like, the best fit for her, because she dated Eli, they weren't even really dating, they were just hooking up, who was so different from her. She thought that would be good, and, like, get her out of her comfort zone, which it did. She went to things, but it wasn't a good match. And then she dated someone who was really like her, and he was an absolute piece of shit. So, like, I think this guy at the protest, he seemed chill, he seemed nice, he seemed like he could be a good fit for her. If she does want to date, yeah, go for him. But I think she needs some time away. But, like, also, I don't know, I feel like maybe he would be a good guy for her. Like, the way they were talking at the protest and, like, in jail and, like, about standing up for what's right, like, he has, like, the same interests as her and wants to do the right thing, and I think that's a turn on for her. So who the hell knows? But, like, the way they were talking in there and looked at each other when Eli got her out of jail, I was like, okay, like, maybe there's something there. Maybe they'll touch on it next season. Who the hell knows if we have one. I hope they touch on Kimberly getting into fucking jail and how that's going to affect her. Because, like, when she was talking to a professor about protesting, I was here for it. And when Brian said, like, oh, it's, like, not a good idea, I kind of was like, screw him. But when the teacher said she kind of agreed with him in that protesting could mess up your potential career, because, like, she protested, it's like something with LGBTQ, and they got, like, her spot taken away or her job taken away or something like that, which is so fucked up, because, like, she's standing up for what's right. Like, are you kidding? But I know, like, when you protest specific things, you could lose your job, like, or if you stand up for things, like, for example, Melissa, what is her last name? I can't think of her last name. With Scream. She got fired because she stood up for Palestine on her Instagram story, which is completely fucked up. Like, the fact that she got fired for that is absolutely insane, like, for standing up for what is right and what everyone else should be doing. And then, of course, thankfully, Jenna Ortega left the franchise too. It's like, you can lose, no matter how fucked up it is. If you protest and stand up for what's right, you could lose your job or career opportunities, because they're going to see videos of you. So when she, like, decided to, like, actually protest, I was a little bit like, okay. But when she didn't get in trouble and, like, they just kind of shooed them away, I was like, okay, you know, like, we tried. Like, yes, I think you should continue, but I don't want her to get in trouble. Because they are standing up for what's right. Like, who wants that piece of shit, that racist, homophobic, misogynistic piece of shit talking after school? Like, I wouldn't. Like, I would protest too. Like, when they all walked off, I was like, okay, they tried, they took a stand, didn't work out, we'll figure out a way to do it. Cutting the service in the school to stop the live stream was the dumbest thing they could have done. Okay, like, I get it, fuck that man, but there are probably other ways to do it than that, because I knew then Kimberly was fucked. She's gonna lose her spot in the symposium for sure. She's gonna lose potential career opportunities. Like, she gets herself in these shitty situations that will fuck up her career. Like, she's done it so many times, and it pisses me off. Like, girl, I love you, but you need to stop getting yourself into these situations that could potentially fuck up your whole entire career. Like, it's going to, for sure. Like, they got caught in jail. It's in her permanent record. And even she was talking about, like, it's in my permanent record. Yeah. Like, you are fucked. Like, you are fucked. Like, oh my gosh. Like, what the hell are we gonna do? It's like, I thought last episode, like, the big thing this episode with the cliffhanger with Kimberly was going to be her nudes getting leaked, not her going to fucking jail, which, to be fair, I feel like nudes might have been worse. Actually, yeah, honestly, I would think nudes would be worse because that is really bad, but going to jail is fucking awful too. Like, yeah, she did it for she's standing up for what's right, didn't do it the best way, but, like, I hope they touch on, like, that, and we figure that out, because she's most likely losing her spot in Symposium and losing potential job offers in the future. And I hope they get that man out of prison. That poor guy. I feel really bad because I didn't hate the guy. I mean, I don't know enough about him. He seemed like a good guy because he was, like, standing up for what's right. He was very passionate about it. And he was, like, there for Kimberly and when they were waiting for people to pick them up. But, like, why didn't they get him? Like, what the hell? Like, I appreciate Eli coming because, like, yeah, he needed to redeem himself, and I'm happy he apologized for leaving her when she got drugged for the first time at a fucking party. Like, praise the Lord. My gosh, I thought we were never getting closure on that moment. I thought he was never going to apologize, but thankfully he did. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Before we met this other guy, and we just knew him from the Instagram video she watched, I thought that they were maybe hinting at them getting back together. I hope that's not the case. I hope they just are friends. But I appreciate him apologizing because I needed some closure on that, because that still pissed me off throughout the whole season. And he got her out of jail. And I hope this is the beginning of a friendship, but not hooking up again. If she's gonna hook up with someone, I root for the guy in jail, or just, I don't know, someone older. I think the guy in jail was older, or the one she was protesting with. I assume he is. He seems like it, and I think being with someone older might be beneficial to her, so she doesn't have to deal with these fucking insane, dumbass college students. Like, what the hell? What the hell is going on with all the relationships this season? Like, the only decent one we're really ending on, besides Bella and the girl, is Whitney and Kanan. And I did not think that was ever gonna happen. Like, I cannot believe they actually got them back together. Like, yeah, at the end of last episode, I assumed it was gonna happen. But if you told me at the beginning of the season that this was going to happen after he kissed her best friend after they broke up and almost had sex with her, I would have lost my mind. Like, I think it is good for her now, even though I was rooting for Isaiah and I thought he was good for her. I think maybe Kanan is good for her because they've been together before. He knows her really well. They were friends. And, like, he seems to be helping her a lot. But, I mean, time will tell. I don't know. I hope next season, yeah, they, like, talk, like, we see more of their relationships so I can kind of see where I stand with it. I still don't approve of her cheating on Isaiah. But, like, I want to see more of that, but I also wanted to see more of her focusing on herself. Because in standing up for what's right, because she did this episode, like her quitting the team last episode and then going to that meeting they held and standing up for herself, because they were like, we held this meeting because we want to have you back. I'm like, screw you. And when she was like saying, I played on an injury, they got me to take cortisone shots to like help so I could push through and play. And they're like, but you said you wanted that. You did blah, 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 blah. I'm like, are you trying to like fuck with her head? Are you trying to make her look like the bad person? Like, no. She was pressured into doing that. It is the coach's fault. Like, screw the doctor, screw the coach. They suck. And the fact that they weren't listening and be like, oh yeah, like, come back, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's crazy. Athletes need a break no matter what time, like, of season it is. If it's playoff season, I don't care. Everyone deserves a break. Like, everyone does. And the fact that, like, when she was going back to get her stuff, and the team started getting mad at her and being like, oh, like, you flaked on us. And the coach was like, oh, yeah. It's like, no, you don't understand the pressure. Like, I mean, they did. Because that's why I'm happy Willow stood up and said what happened and said they got her to take drugs for her knee to play, even though she was in pain and was injured. They wouldn't let her take a day off because she had a panic attack. Like, they suck. And she was calling out the coach. And then, thankfully, everyone started saying, like, what, like, they agree. And, like, soccer is affecting, or, like, any sport. Like, but soccer's affecting their grades. And they can't graduate. Somebody who's in track, like, had to take shots for an injury. Their coach made him. Like, everyone's standing up. It was just, like, perfect that Whitney took the stands and quit. And then, like, her and Willow talked about it, or specifically Willow called them out, because now everyone quit. And when, like, they called her back in to complain that the whole team quit, I'm like, okay, that just shows how fucked up this is. This shows, like, her quitting reminded everyone what's going on and made everyone feel strong enough to stand up and leave. And, like, them being annoyed about how, like, they want all these needs, and, like, they'll come back if they change these things. Like, no. There needs to be a change. They need breaks. They need, like, time off. Like, are you kidding? Like, damn. Like, I'm so happy Whitney took a stance and was like, I need this. It, like, took time off, and was figuring out what she was going to do with herself and, like, with the free time. And then took a stance and got the whole team to rally with her. And now they're back. And they have these new rules that everyone's going to have to apply to make it easier for them, and so they don't, like, have a meltdown. Because, like, everyone needs it. Like, needs a break. Especially athletes. Like, they work so hard. So hard. Especially during playoff season. It's the most stressful time. Like, they deserve some time off. Even though they're trying to win, they still deserve some time off. And I hope, along with Whitney's and Kanan's relationship and touching on that next season and, like, exploring that more and seeing them grow and seeing how they're better together now than they were before, I hope we see more of Whitney, like, trying to make a change in this, because she's back. And I think next season, if they renew it, it could be great to yes, bring the funny element of it, but also bring the serious topics that they have throughout the show, but really touch on, like, Whitney making a change and standing up for what's right in, like, the athletic world and department. Bella figuring out her sexuality and exploring it more, maybe, or just, like, starting to date that girl. Kimberly figuring out the whole jail thing and like, figuring that shit out, like, trying to fix all that, and maybe hopefully focusing on herself. And then Casey finally being on her own and, like, becoming more confident and focusing on herself and realizing her self-worth. I think they need another season specifically for that. And like, with Taylor, like, fixing her relationship with her mom, maybe starting to have feelings for Bella. I'm crossing my fucking fingers. It's like, we need another season for all of that. I need it all. And I want Leighton to come back now that Bella is by. And Not for them to hook up, obviously, but because I want to see Lane's reaction to that, because I know for a fact that she saw it coming. I feel like when queer people's gaydar is pretty good. Like, mine is sort of good-ish. Really depends. But, like, I feel like Layton's would be good, and I wanted to come back for that. But, so, hopefully we get another season. I have hopes. I feel like we could do it, but then I'm also really nervous because I've said this before, but, like, this year, or, like, not even this year, but, like, these days, like, in the past few years, no matter how popular a show gets, it can get canceled. So I'm a bit worried, but, and, like, nervous. But to be fair, if it does end, I'm going to be devastated because I want them to explore all these things, especially with Bella. But it didn't necessarily end on a cliffhanger. And it was a beautiful ending if they did it, if they cancel it. So I'll be upset, obviously, but it's not like what I thought was going to happen. They were going to end on this huge cliffhanger. So, like, I'll get over it eventually. But still, we're crossing our fingers. Hopefully we'll get to season 4. I think I'm going to end the episode here. So thank you so much for listening. And I won't see you guys next week. Or I will technically, but not for this, obviously. So I'll see you guys soon.